Love at first sight. It doesn't really start with appearance. There was a cool wind in the field that day. You are warm on the ground. And the brief glimpse as she takes off her scarf. I'm so sorry. I tried everything that I can. Star William. Love at first sight. The sweet smile that stupefied my mind. I was just thinking about helping the girl start the car. But forget that it is. I missed the opportunity. Please contact me. Only temporary regrets. But missing out could be forever. As soon as William sank into deep remorse, behind transmitted the sound of distant wheels approaching. William was glad to dry and smell the fragrance from the ground. They were chatting. Turns out her name is Adele, but her friends call her Della. 5 weeks later, William and Della fell madly in love. They took pictures together in the fields, to travel the jungle together. Together, we planned for a beautiful future. In William's heart, Della is like a light that is both weak and strong. The weakness is that she always accidentally hurts herself. The strength is, she illuminated William's entire life on. That day, William was preparing his wedding ring, prepared to say for Della. It's a surprise, but what I don't know is, when Della sees the ring in his hand from a distance, you're sad again. You left William. He is waiting with a heart full of joy. And from there, she disappeared from my life. Loving someone might just take a day, but to forget someone takes a lifetime. William lost more than 45, but still can endure countless days and nights. He's very famous in astronomy. Because they discovered a star, the broom will pass through the earth. He named it Della. The wife asked why it was called Della. William lied that it was in memory of his grandmother. And, at a New Year's Eve party on the same day, a beautiful young woman is coming. She re-identical Della more than 45 years ago. It's just what people call you, Jenny. You're talking to your friends. A man in front of me gets used to it. Jenny watched the man from head to toe. You gave me all the information about him. I even recognized the old clock in my hand. The man, somewhat surprised, without a little bit of experience and maturity, it's almost impossible to do. The woman looks like a young girl. Suddenly through the crowd, a flaming pair of eyes towards her. Jenny raised her head and looked up at the four crossed eyes. They both have their own feelings. I'm just sorry that Kier seems to have a couple. The party is over. Jenny is getting ready to go home. I rarely see a girl who makes my heart flutter. Eric will definitely not miss it, with funny and graceful words. He knew that the girl named Jenny, and managed to make her laugh. Get out of the elevator, Jenny reminded. Eric shouldn't have left his girlfriend upstairs alone. Eric laughed. Explained that it's just a normal friend. A gentle joy welled up in my heart, but Jenny didn't respond. Before Eric's clinging, she still stubbornly sat in the car home. Like Della 45 before. You seem to be afraid of something. The next day, an old woman with gray hair walked into the restaurant. When Jenny saw her, she showed a face full of love. Happy birthday, Mom. Thanks, daughter. Yes. She called Jenny Mom. Instead of saying she's Jenny's daughter, he said she was his daughter. Della is more accurate. No wrong, Jenny is Della of more than 45 years ago. She's 107 years old this year. Back to 85 years ago. Della fell in love at first sight with an engineer. Soon they entered the castle of marriage. Not long after she gave birth to her daughter, her husband died suddenly. Della also in a drive. Unfortunately, he slipped into the river. The moment your breath stops, a lightning bolt just in time hit her. Since then, Bella has been able to stay young forever. The ability to make others jealous, this envy, make her again, to endure the unbearable suffering, along with the daughter's growth. That's the suspicion from friends. The police's suspicion, even a strong investigation from the big investigative team. Eyes in the dark are always watching her. She can become mice on the lab table at any time. Not to involve the girls. Della tearfully said goodbye to her daughter, wearing your wedding ring for your daughter. From there on out, Della started her life wandering for life. Every 15 years, she has to change her name, my address, and picture. Although this could help her avoid being spied on, but at the same time it makes Della to fall into endless loneliness. She doesn't dare make friends. I dare not contact my family. Only next to you, a beloved dog with a short life. It's been almost 45 days since I met William. Their love grows uncontrollably, but when I saw the wedding ring in William's hand, Della panicked again. 45, wandering lonely. She has a wish, nothing but a love that lasts until the beginning. But she's a different person being chased. You can't put William in danger. I can't be with him in times of trouble. So you chose to run away. But Della doesn't know. You're leaving without a goodbye. There was eternal pain in William's heart. He never stopped looking for Della. All the gifts that fate gives, they're all secretly priced. See my daughter after 45, that ring still glistening brightly, but time soon invaded her face. Heard the girl say she tripped on the stairs when looking for a nursing home. Della in her heart felt all kinds of emotions. She's lonely, but she has to choose loneliness. Della works at a library. director that day. A library is about a person who's going to donate a book. Eric came along. You know that person is you. Of course Eric was prepared. I made Della agree to date tomorrow. Otherwise, the donated book will be withdrawn. Della doesn't want to be the director's 7 and only reluctantly agree with him. The next day Della arrived on time, but she didn't expect that. The dating site is a mining site. Eric told Della, your work is the exact opposite of your father's. You're passionate about the exploitation of monuments. But his father was passionate about the mysterious Look at sky. The giant ship buried deep in the ground in front of Della you. Can't help but recognize this was an unforgettable date. When he returned, Eric knew that Della would soon be moving away. Of course I'm not satisfied, and told a joke. Make Della endlessly laugh. That's why I had the chance to see you again. The next day at the exact location, Della went to Eric's house. Eric had prepared a hearty dinner on the table. They talk about food, talk about music, talk about you too. He's famous for discovering a rare Sauerbraun. How rare it is, according to his algorithm. It will pass by the Earth in the winter of 1981. Has it passed? No. But that doesn't make you give up. In the annual observation, my father is still looking for his shadow. She quietly listened to the man in front of her. It's not just funny, it's also romantic. In a minute, that's what made her so fascinated. After dinner, the atmosphere between the two of you is beginning to become delicate. Maybe it's been too long without AI. Della gave her first kiss after 45. But you'll never think that. When I come home again, your dog has been with you for years. It's time to end life. This is what Della is most afraid of. Everything you love is dying. You are the only one standing still to endure the pain of separation. She had no choice. I can only look at the pictures that were taken throughout, photos that remind me of good memories. She smiled but disappeared for a moment. Everything reminded her of that. Loneliness is the way she has to go. So Della, she decided she wanted to leave quickly. Just before the day of leaving, Eric found her with a bunch of flowers in her hand. But now Della has become a different person. She walked over to Eric and told him, we're not going to get any results. I had to leave. Eric stood stunned. I don't know what I did wrong. Look at Eric 7. Della doesn't know how to describe it. How is my suffering? Her daughter realized she was worried. She told Della, there's no one watching you now. She can rest assured to find the feeling of loving someone again. I've been alone for so long. Della feels her nose spicy. Yes, she's been alone for too long. She's fed up with life running away. I'm tired of lying to nice people. You can't be brave once. Finally Della went to Eric's studio. She sincerely expressed her apologies and frankly expressed his feelings. At the top side key or phone, Eric finally forgave her. They went to a car theater. This is where Della chose carefully. Hold down power switch. They both raise their heads and look up. A sky full of beautiful stars appears before you. The soft light of the stars shone on their faces. They looked at each other and smiled. This moment, two people's hearts are completely intertwined. When both of you have identified your feelings for each other, Eric plans to let Della meet his parents. Della does not refuse. The door opened, and Eric's mother welcomed him. The presentation is simply done. Father Eric also slowly stepped out. This is my father William. Dad, this is Adele. My name is Jenny, and William's mind is suddenly empty. Until my daughter reminded me, he pretended to be calm and explained that she's very much like an old friend of mine. Her tried to hold back her tears when she heard the name Adele. She explained that it was her mother. William couldn't believe they were so alike. Della asked if they knew each other. William's voice was trembling. Yes, of course. We are very familiar. I met her in London. Della's eyes were drenched. She's trying to illustrate, according to William. You talk about your father seriously. William seemed calm, but there was a big wave in my heart, even though he believed Della's words. But it keeps on repeating. Wow, we really know each other. I told you I loved her, and she died. William's heart was racing. He almost had trouble breathing. The voice also became choked. Eric realized there was something wrong with the air. He immediately took the excuse of being tired of driving the conversation. After everyone left, William in his heart could not calm down. You just want an answer. But now it seems that no, I can answer that. One night without sleep until breakfast the next day, wife asked about his meeting with Della. New William slowly tells of distant memories. But obviously, you don't talk about their passionate love. Just talk about a couple of little experiences. But it still makes you smile. Della stood outside in silence for a long time. William's words are like steel needles. Stab her heart in pain. That day they were playing an interesting game of knowledge. William, who never lost. This time I accidentally lost Della. Our family has an old story. Daddy loses fun knowledge game and Della appears. What will happen before Della? That's right. Remember when you told me about that broom star? The one my father discovered. He named it Della C98. A game is still going on. But Della was no longer interested in seeing William. People keep asking. In her eyes were only apologies and tears. That evening, Della found the opportunity to ask William. They named it after her mother. William replied, "It's going to be the closest comet to Earth in 200 years. Closest to the Earth is a broom. It's like your mother. Just a little bit missing." William replied, "She loved you too." Although Della was hiding very well, but in the end she forgot a detail. That day, William saw on Della's head a worm. He wants to help get it down. "But I see a wound on her left hand." William was dumbfounded until Della. He hurried off to a warehouse. While a memory comes to mind. It was a forest trip that day. Della's left hand was accidentally cut off by a tree branch. The wound was William's own bandage. Break into the warehouse. William finally found the old picture. And in that picture is Della. The injury is also the left hand. William's inner voice suddenly welled up. He immediately drove to find Della. "I know who you are.
Enjoy the vibes."
What? That scar is exactly the same. That's me stitching in myself. William asked Della to give him an answer. Della tearfully faces her ex-lover. Finally, she's no longer hiding. "Tell me all the secrets inside of you." "So I left you, so I was gone." That pain I can't imagine. I think I understand that more than 45 points have been resolved. William was relieved. "You're no longer looking for the right. I just hope Della doesn't hide this time. I can be with Eric in a good way." But Della still ran into the woods. She's taking a shortcut home, packing up. Despite William's pleas, he's determined to leave. Eric quickly found out Della had left. "I was worried to ask Father." But William couldn't explain it directly. He just asked Eric if he loved her. "Of course I know.
Welcome to the Shin Music
Without her, everything loses its meaning." William smiled and threw the car keys to Eric. "Look at Della again. Tears have been drenched. The eye sockets have been struggling. You're for tired 15 of being years. Alone. I hate the separations. I hate running away." After intense ideological struggle, Della finally understood everything. However, as soon as she turned the car around, an unexpected incident happened. It's starting to snow. Della lay still on the ground, her breath weakening. Eric quickly ran back. He panicked, pressed hard on Della's chest, but it didn't work. Until the doctor comes and presses the defibrillator button. Della is finally back. And after going through all of this, Della finally got the courage. Confess everything to Eric. At this point, the two hearts are truly united. One morning a year later, Della suddenly realized on her head suddenly grows out her silver hair, excited to shed tears. This is what you want most. A love that grows old together with the one you love. Life is like the wind. The length of life is of course important, but what's more precious? It's in our short lives. We can be true to ourselves. Courage to pursue what you want. Maybe it's a love, an achievement, or a cup of tea in the afternoon sun. No matter what it is, as long as we struggle, a life on this earth, it doesn't count as a wasted trip.